today I'm going to be doing a style that is a skinny, what's called a pancake style. This is a style that I have learned from Sincerely Creative Mom. Mel's fantastic, and I actually, in the Midwest here, these sell really well because these skinny pancake wreaths are only about that thick, and then they can go between a storm door, so they're not going to get squished. So that's what I'm going to do today. My theme today, you can see, is kind of the moss green with the orange pumpkin. So I have, this is a 4-inch ribbon I'm going to use as the base for my bow, which is going to be a flat bow. And then I also have this ribbon, which I really love. This is like a canvas ribbon, and it holds up really well. And a bunch of this, this is faux burlap that should hold up well outside. But see, it's marked as $8.38. I got that whole roll for half that price at the Craig Bachman warehouse sale probably 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know, I think actually it was before COVID. So I've never really used this in anything, so I'm excited to use this. So I'm going to put my ribbons aside for now, and I'm going to start on the important part, which is making the wreath frame. So this is a 14-inch wire wreath frame that I got from Dollar Tree. You know, if you're going to put a lot of stuff on a wreath, these probably won't hold up well, but this is not going to have much on it. It's going to be a very lightweight wreath, so this should work well. And I'm going to use this moss mesh, say that 5 times fast, as my base. And I'm going to go with white as the pipe cleaner because I don't have that moss color, but also this has white in it already. So I'm going to do that. And that white kind of also plays off the white here in the pumpkins. So I'm excited. All right, so I'm going to move my phone out of the way so I don't accidentally run my rotary cutter over it. Anybody knows me and my little accident earlier this year. Rotary cutters and I don't get along. We need to have a little more respect for one another so I don't slice myself open again. So I am going to put this on. I'm going to move this over here. I want you to be able to see this. So this right here is my mesh roller. This is Susie's triple stationary mesh roller. You probably can't see it very well, but there are 3 racks, 3 levels to it. So I can keep lots of different mesh stored on here. But I primarily use this for cutting my 10-inch mesh. If I'm using 2 different kinds of mesh, it's really nice that I can layer them on top. And then I just pull it out, and I only have to cut once, but I end up with 2 different pieces of mesh. It's nice. So I'm going to cut these to 20 inches. So my mat is kind of backwards, so I'm going to pull it out to 20 and cut at 30. That actually equals 20 inches. If my math is correct, and anyone who knows me knows, do not trust my math. I suck at numbers. So let me pull my mat down a little bit before I get started. All right. I'm going to pull this down. Ooh, I'm going to move my, sorry, my tubing is getting all caught. We're going to use this too. This is mesh tubing, which I like to use. Or that one actually is a jute. Okay, so I pulled it out to 10. Just going to roll it up to 30. Okay, now I need to cut 12 of these. Sometimes I'll make my wreath frame first, sometimes I'll cut my mesh first. Today I want to cut my mesh first. So I need 12 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at me, I can count. Oh, crud. Was that 6 or 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7. Okay. 8, 9, 10. Uh-oh. That's only 11. There was not much mesh on there. I am really surprised. Okay. Hold tight. I'm going to go grab another one. Okay. So this mesh, this is the place and time mesh, and this is actually only 18 feet. I should have realized that. This is a little bit shorter than most of the 10-inch mesh rolls, so I would say definitely cut it down. Maybe try to do 16 to 18-inch length ruffles if you only want to use one roll of this mesh. But I like to have fuller rolls. Plus the rest of this roll I can use to fill out if I've got another wreath that I'm making that has 21-inch mesh on there that I can use to fill these in as little extra ruffles on the edges. So I only need one more. Of course I had to do just one more, guys. Here we go. All right. There's one more. I want to see. Yeah, that's pretty close. All right, so I'm excited that worked out well. Let me get the tape off the end. Okay, now I've got my mesh pieces cut. Pull them over to the side. Wrap this up. Most importantly, retract the blade and put away the sharp object. I'm sure y'all are more careful than I am because I'm a klutz. All right, now I have, I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm trying to get to my phone so I can change the angle. I am a hot mess today, guys. I am a hot mess. It's just, my daughter's wedding's coming up. I am making literally everything for it, and I am just exhausted. I'm so tired. All right, have lunch. Okay, so you can see here, this is the wreath, and there are 6 of these, I call them spines, that go across. So 6 spines on this ring, and there are 4 rings around this wreath ring. You can see them all different shapes and sizes. So we're going to do 6 on the inside and 6 on the outside. So I put it up between the second and third, and then I pull it up toward the front. I like to wrap it around again just to make sure it's extra secure, not going anywhere. So then you can kind of see it's like this end is below the spine and this end is above. And that way when I pull it and twist it like that, this is not going to go anywhere. This cannot slide anywhere. The same will not be said for the outside one. You'll have to pull that a little bit tighter. But I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these. So flipping it around. 1, 2. Here comes the third one. I used to use the Dollar Tree pipe cleaners, and I will still sometimes use the metallic ones when I'm making tomato cage trees because they bend nicely. But overall, the quality is pretty thin if you're using a substantial amount of mesh and ribbon. So I would advise staying away from that if you're making anything that is really going to involve you tugging hard on these, because I have had them snap before. All right, come on. Sorry. Now I'm huffing and puffing like an old woman because I had to go walk over there and bend over. I don't bend. I don't walk. I sure as hell don't run. Okay, so now we have our 6 on the inside. Now these, the next 6, we're going to stagger, so they're going to be in between here. So they're going to go between these spines. You can buy mesh wreath forms that are already made. And they're very nice, and they're a bit more raised, so they don't really work very well if you're trying to make a thin pancake wreath. These are the best to use. But if you're going to use something that has a lot more mesh and that's a lot fuller, you can get raised wreath rings. And then they already come with these things on there. They have some thinner little tinsel ones and then some fatter ones. It all depends if you want to hide those little tines sticking out or not. But I do use those as well. And I get them from Decor Exchange has those. There is an affiliate link in my bio. If you click my link tree, it's linktr.ee, and then you go down to the Decor Exchange link. That'll take you right there to their site. I got a shipment of the 60919 florals in from them this week, this floral bush, and it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. I cannot wait to use it. But I probably wouldn't use it in a thinner pancake wreath, just because I'm going to save it for something a little bit more massive. Okay, so now you can see I got 6 on the inside and 6 on the outside. Then I'm going to start with the outside. And I'm going to, so this is, it wants to curl in, right? So I am going to go curl side down, okay? Because we're going to want this to be flat. So you flatten it up, and then you just pinch, and you literally crawl your way up. You can probably hear my nails scraping it. The smaller the gathers, the more roughly it gets, and then you put that right inside one of those, and then you just twist it. Now don't cut these off because we have to go around and put our ribbon in. So we're going to open these up. But then you can take your mesh layers and kind of overlap it. So it should make like a ring, right? It's laying on top. And there might be some extra little threads, you know, hanging up. Some people use a wood cutter. I don't. I just don't trust myself with hot objects. Then see which side looks like it has the less amount of fray, and that's probably the one you can put over the top. Your ribbons will most likely cover all of that, so you won't see it. So I'll go through and do some more of these. Scraping and scratching my way all the way up to the top. Well, I hope everybody is having a good Sunday. It's our last one in August. I can't believe how fast the summer went by. I cannot believe my kid is back in school. That is crazy. I wasn't done with summer. I'm not done with summer. You can't have it back yet. It was very strange to be in the middle of the heat of summer and making Halloween wreaths. So, like, my sense of season is, like, all jacked up. But that's okay. I'm already feeling guilty that I'm not working on Christmas yet, right? Like, but wedding stuff has been getting in the way. So that will be over September 17th. I'm looking forward to it. It shall be a beautiful day. And then everything I made, all the florals, centerpieces, all that stuff. I'm going to list that stuff for sale the next day. Put it on Facebook Marketplace. If I made it, might as well try to get some money for it and have someone else get some use out of it, right? All right. Flatten this puppy out. Come on. Flatten out. Scratch our way up here. I do have a craft show. My first one coming up is going to be October 2nd in Romeoville, Illinois. That is the Autumn Colors craft show that is at the Romeoville Park District building. I think I've done that. I've done their fall and their spring shows. They're fun shows. A lot of good crafters out there. A lot of fun stuff to take a look at. And it's kind of nice that we're getting into the season of craft shows. And then I have craft shows literally from the last weekend of October all the way through the second weekend of December. I have one every single weekend. I went a little overboard. So I better get making on my mesh Christmas trees are what I usually sell out of. And those take about 3 hours to make a piece. So I better get on that. Yeah. All right. So this is the last one. This is the 6th one. All right. Putting that in here. Here we go. Oh, my back's hurting already. All right. Overlapping. Okay. Now, I do have the inside to go, but what I want to do now is, I guess I'll leave this over here. I'm going to get my ribbon board. We're going to cut our ribbon tails. I got to sit down. Sorry, my back is killing me. Oh, there we go. Nobody can tell I'm sitting anyway. So we're going to cut our ribbon because we want to put the ribbon on this outside ring before we put the mesh on the inside ring. So I need to cut 12 tails, and I'm going to cut these 12 tails. You can see here there's 14 inches written on the board here. So I'm going to wrap this around. We'll see. I'll probably end up knocking over the ribbon spool, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to hold it up there. I'm just going to wrap it around 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like the electric company. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Young people are like, what is that? I'm not going to explain it to you. It's not my fault you didn't grow up in the best era ever. Okay. Okay. So I've cut each end. So now I made 2 cuts, but now I have 12 tails. So now I need to dovetail these. I only dovetail these 4 at a time max just because I don't want to kill my scissors. So this is wired ribbon. And what I do is I put the wired edge to the wired edge. So I make like a little sandwich out of it, a little taco, right? And then I cut from the inside to the outside edge on an angle. So I cut like that. And you can see then it looks like this. Very pretty. So I'm going to do that on both sides. Here we go. I actually don't think I even have a fall wreath. I cut it a little crooked for my door. I used to have a storm door. And then last year I replaced that with a door that doesn't need one. But the problem is my entryway is extremely, extremely exposed. Like, if it rains, it nails everything. So I don't really have a good way to keep things protected. So whatever I put out there, I have to use quite a bit of sealant on, make sure it's going to be okay. But honestly, I always make stuff for myself. And I'm like, oh, well, I could sell that at the craft show. And then I sell it. and my door's naked. My door's naked. But hey, as long as I've made a profit, you know, and I made someone else happy, then that makes me happy. You know, that's why I do it. It's an honor to make something that someone likes enough that they want to hang it in their home or give as a gift. So that makes me happy. That is my joy. That and Krispy Kreme donuts are my joy. Yeah. All right. Bend this over. That's why I'm going to be wearing 2 sets of Spanx at my daughter's wedding. You're going to have to pry me into that and out of that with a freaking crowbar. But, you know, that's all right. You know, my thought is, you know, I'm a widow, right? Everybody knows this by now. So sometimes I get sad and sometimes I eat my feelings. And you know what? If it gets me through, who am I to complain? Is it healthy? No. Do I give a shit? No. To be honest, not right now. Not at this point with it all so fresh. I will eventually start losing weight. I have to. I've got a 9-year-old that needs a mama. All right. I'm going to cut one of these off because I dovetailed the end of this because I wanted to see if this frayed. So this is that fake burlap. I dovetailed it because I wanted to make sure that when I cut the dovetail that it didn't, like that in here wasn't going to start fraying or was it going to turn into a mess. And it didn't. It actually held up surprisingly well. And it's really soft too. Like honestly, like you can make a blanket out of this and I would totally snuggle up with it. Okay, so I only need 13 of this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, this is thicker than the other one, so I wonder if I'm going to be able to make the cut. Okay, I'll pull it out. All right, so see, I've got it bent. Just got to finagle my scissors in there and just kind of cut on through. Yay, it cut. But I'm not going to cut this much at once when I'm making the dovetails, that's for sure. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Oh, all right. 1 and 2, cutting through. I know it's kind of weird for me to be going live during the day because most people are busy. By the time nighttime comes, I'm pretty much zonked on the couch. So I'm going to try to do more nighttime lives. But in the meantime, you get me to spend part of your Sunday with. Aren't you lucky? Sorry. I'm trying to be a little ray of sunshine today. I am in a good mood, actually, because my daughter is doing very well. She has started 4th grade. She is in special ed, so she's got some struggles. But we studied so hard last week, and she got 100% on her spelling test. And we worked so hard on it. And most people wouldn't think that that's a big deal. But for her to get 100 on a spelling test is a huge deal. And I'm so happy. We have to make up these little songs to go with the words to help her remember the spelling. So that part's kind of fun. And then I'll sing it with her in the car. Okay, I'll sing it at her in the car. First thing in the morning on the way to school. Every morning. So I'm sure she just loves me. But we live I can literally see the school from my house. I am like the next block over from the school. And I still drive her. I drive her because that's a long walk. And these backpacks, the kids today, the backpacks, right? They've all got Chromebooks and stuff. Like, the bags are so heavy. Like, I remember when they came out with like backpacks on wheels when I was like in junior high and high school. You know, and I'm like, that's a cool concept. Well, now they don't really allow that in a lot of schools. I'm like, okay, fine. My daughter's going to end up having a blown disc by the time she's 12 just from hauling stuff around. But I wonder if it's any different in junior high school. Hopefully most textbooks are online now so they don't have to lug that stuff around. Do you guys remember being in high school and you literally had to run? You had like 3 minutes passing period. And you had to get from one end of the school to the other, and it was like so congested you could barely move, and God forbid you needed to go to your locker. It was like, there's no way. I think to this day, that's why I hate running. I had PTSD from having to change classes, going from one end to the other. All right, so I have all of my ribbons cut. I'm going to move this over to the side so you can see that there. Scissors go here. I'm going to sandwich one on top of the other. I'm going to put the plaid underneath the green because the green has a pretty picture on it. All right, and then I'm going to flip it up and I'm going to bend it so you can see where I've bent it here. And I'm going to walk it up really slowly so I can kind of pinch it together. You can see it is, let me go in there. Let me get in there. You can see it is pinched really tightly in there, right? So then I'm going to open this pipe cleaner back up. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to pull it together just enough to hold it in place. Then I'm going to take one of my pieces of, this is jute tubing. I've cut this at 26-inch lengths. You don't have to do this. I like to do it because it kind of hides some of the pipe cleaner and it fills it out a little bit more. But I make a fish. So I cross one end over the other, right? And then it kind of looks like a fish. So let's show you here. You got your fishy's tails back here, right? And then your fishy up here. So then I take, I love the white pumpkins. Aren't they pretty? I like them. It's something different than green or from orange. So then I take the fishy mouth and the mouth kisses its butt, right? So it kisses its own butt. That's how I remember it. If I were that limber, well, then I'd have an OnlyFans channel and I could retire. Sorry, I'm being a dirty birdie today. All right, I'm going to cut. I twisted it so it's on there tight. Okay, I twisted it, and then I leave about 1 inch, and then I cut off the rest of that pipe cleaner. Okay, and then all you got to do is just take it and kind of push it down so that it kind of hides behind there. And there we go. But now you've got these two ribbons that look like wings, right? They're sticking out that way. So we want to separate these out. So I'm going to pull that first green one down. Then I want to alternate. Then I want the plaid to come in and then the green. So you see how it's plaid, green, right? And then we've got the little bows in there. Okay. I'm going to go do that all the way around. I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can. Shove it in, pull, pull, pull. I'm trying to make a lot of these for the craft show that we're having in October because, like I said before, where we live, most people have storm doors on their front door. And it's the Midwest, so, you know, you could have a month, like a rainstorm, a hurricane, you know, you'd have a tornado basically in the same day, and then it'll suddenly be 110 degrees and sunny. So, the weather here in Chicago sucks. I don't know why I live here. Once my kids move elsewhere, I probably will follow suit. But only to a city that has a Portillo's. And I must live within a 10-mile radius of a Joann's, a Hobby Lobby, a Michael's, and a McDonald's. It's my prerequisites for moving ever. But I don't want to move out of the house that I've got now because it's where I have my happy memories of living with my hubs and our kids. I always want them to have their home to come back to for as long as I can. I'm just going to have to get that little elevator chair lift thing that takes you up the stairs. If I got that, I'd be golden. Literally golden years. I'm going to be Dorothy, right? I'm just going to get my smart 80s pantsuit. I already know which friend I'd live with. That'd be Renee. We watched Golden Girls together since we were kids. When it was on originally, we are OG Golden Girls fans, by the way. All these new kids walking around with like their, you know, pictures of Sophia on their shirt and stuff. No. That's my generation's. You can't steal that. It was bad enough when y'all started walking around with your Nirvana t-shirts. You couldn't even say who was in the band or who Kurt Cobain was. But, ooh, I like the shirt. I look funky. No, man. No. We own that. All right. I'm pulling this tight. Get another one of these loopies. So once we get this in, we're going to do the same thing at the row above. We'll be doing 6 on there. And then we're going to do what I like to call my flat bow. I like to have a bow on these wreaths, but it can't stick out far, right? Because, you know, when you close the door, you don't want it to look like, oh, this would have been a pretty wreath, but you squished the crap out of it. No, that's not what you want it to look. It's supposed to look nice. It's supposed to not squish. I mean, it can press up against the glass. That's fine, but you don't want it to look like it's struggling to breathe. Like me when I put on my Spanx for the wedding in 3 weeks. Yeah. That's why I got a pantsuit to change into. I'm going to wear a pantsuit, and I've got white gym shoes. I got some Keds. I'm going to have fun, and I want to be comfortable. All right. Make another fishy. Stick that fishy in here. Twist the fishy around. Come on, twisty, twisty, twisty. I just can't believe that it's fall already. It just seemed like the whole summer went by so very fast. Now I've got to make the fall wreaths. I know people who are already on to Christmas. Like, oh my gosh, talk about making me feel behind. So I probably will be behind on that, but I still have some left from last year that didn't sell that I can make sure. They're all still listed on my Etsy site, so everything's out there. I don't take things down seasonally. If I make the listing, I leave it out there because I've had people buy Halloween stuff in like March. You know, sometimes you see something, you like it. You don't know if it'll be there later. You might as well grab it. But I do currently have a sale in my Etsy shop. It runs through the end of tonight only. 10% off all Halloween with code HAUNTED10. Ooh. Spooky. Go. And I think I'll probably also have a Labor Day sale coming up. I can't believe next weekend is Labor Day weekend already. Like, I just got my pool water blue. Now I have to close everything up. That's the worst part. But we shall see. That's when I gotta call all hands on deck, because if you've ever tried to put a tarp over a pool, you know that it is like at least a 3-person job. More people if you're trying to take the tarp off. Yeah. My hubby tried to show me and teach me all he knew about pool maintenance. And some of it stuck in my head and some of it did not. So this year was the first, well, since last year was the first year without him. And the pool looked awful. But we also needed a new filter system, which I finally got this year. So now the water's actually swimmable without trying to risk coming down with some weird form of Ebola. All right, so I'm going to come back out now with the zoomies. All right, so, and you can see right now our progress. This is a very thin wreath, but when you look at it, it still looks very pretty, very full. Now we're going to go in and start making the insides. So I'm going to start with these ruffles. All right, make them flat, Linda. Flatten them out. This does not want to go flat. It's fighting me. I shall win. All right. Scraping my fingernails up it. Here we go. Come on. Flop it back out. Here we go. It's nice having that little chenille line down the center of it because that helps me know and stay on track as to where I'm supposed to be gathering it. All right, here's the next one. overall, I'd say if you've done these before, this should probably take roughly about 45 minutes to make. Not bad. Not too bad. Rolling my fingers up. Okay. Here we go. Oops. Where are you going? Where are you going? Alrighty. Here comes the third one. I actually made one of these wreaths, Halloween one, with my 9-year-old. This is actually a pretty fun and easy wreath method that you can use to make a wreath with
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. You can also follow me on TikTok and Facebook and see my available creations at sweetariadecor.com.
thing, and you need probably one roll of 10-inch mesh, a Dollar Tree frame, and then whatever ribbons, and you can find ribbons on sale, clearance. I buy a lot of ribbon. Well, now I try to buy it, you know, from different suppliers because I can get 50-foot rolls. But, you know, end of season clearance, if you have the space to store stuff, you know, you get an end of season clearance, and if you got some reward points saved up, like Michael's or something, that's a good way to get stuff. And then just hold on to it. And then the cool part is, when you open it up, you know, I've got my Halloween stuff put away. So when I open that stuff up in, like, you know, June, I forgot what I bought. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Christmas. What did I buy myself? Look, I got some witch hats. I got some witch legs. It's like a holiday. It's like a holiday for yourself. It's like, oh, what'd you buy yourself? But I mean, then you make it and sell it and give it away. So technically, it's not really yours forever. But you have the fun of making it. That's why I like making wreaths. It's calming. Though sometimes, you know, if I'm trying to get my shop populated, sometimes it does start to feel like a bit more of a chore. That's when I stop for a while, because I don't want it to ever feel like an obligation. I want it to feel like something that's fun that I enjoy. It's just when you physically don't feel good, it's hard to make yourself want to get up and do stuff. But, you know, there's accommodations, like, you know, my back hurts. Well, I can sit on a stool. I'm sitting on a stool right now. It helps. And you don't always have to make everything all at once. My trees take roughly 3 hours to make. Sometimes I can make one start to finish. Other times I have to stop and take a break. But I have made like 6 cages at once in front of the TV, you know, just doing the base and running the wire and whatnot. Okay, so now let's start with our last 6 on the inside. And then not forget my mesh tubing. Okay, open that up. All right. Throw this in here. And then really, honestly, there's not that much more to do once I get the rest of this done. The bow is going to be quick. I'm going to show you my Easy Bow Deluxe. It's the Design Pro that I got fairly recently. And I love it. I love it. It's bigger. Don't we all love it when it's just a couple inches bigger, ladies? Yeah. I'm talking about the bow maker. Get your mind out of the gutter. No, I'm not. All right, here we go. That one looks good. All right. Getting there. I should have cut this before I was on the call, or before I did the live. Oh well. All right, here's like a fishy legs, kissing its butt. There we go. I've gotten away from using the tubing, but I still like to use it sometimes on some of these skinny pancake wreaths, just because I think it adds a nice extra little touch, and it doesn't take up a lot of depth. It adds, you know, a bit more width to it, but we're not worried about the width with the pancake. We are worried about the depth. All right. I really like this moss green mesh. I wish that there were more of it on the spool, though. That's the only bad part about when you get it from, you know, craft stores. You have to pay attention. Also, I wish Michaels carried 10-inch mesh. Their shorter mesh is 12 inches, and I don't really like the way that looks for most of my projects. Especially with some of the tomato cage trees, I will use that to make the ruffles. They kind of go, you know, in every other branch, because that sticks out too far. So, I definitely just prefer the 12-inch mesh. So Michaels, you might want to consider maybe going a little bit shorter on those 12-inch rolls. All right. Another fishy. The butt. Doing the butt. Dun, dun, dun. I don't remember who did that song back in the 80s. But I remember laughing every time I heard that song. All right. Here we go. Pop that in there. Sorry, I've been on a big retro kick lately. I saw Duran Duran last Saturday night in Chicago with my bestie, Renee, and it was awesome. They sounded great. They looked great. Though it looked like from where I was sitting, it looked they were all wearing their white New Balance tennis shoes. Because, you know, once you get to be our age, that's kind of what you wear for comfort. I think I might be one short on the green. But we were very good in concert, as usual. I think the last time we saw them was at Ravinia, like, gosh, it must have been like 8-9 years ago. But the best part about the concert, and this is how you know I'm old, is that everybody sat. Most people were sitting down. I didn't have to stand up. And that's why I enjoyed it so much. You know, it's just, I don't know why they don't start concerts like, look, if the band is over 50, can we please maybe start this thing at 6 so it's over by 9? Because then I'm home by 10 and then I can go to sleep and take my nighttime meds and stay on my schedule. It's really sad, but they really should think about it. Like, once you get to a certain age, like, you know, we're not used to staying up late, and if things started earlier, I might go to more stuff. But I also don't have anybody to watch my kid, so, you know, there's that. My poor parents, I have put them through hell and back with constantly asking them to watch my daughter lately. They've been wonderful. Okay. I don't think I cut enough of this green ribbon, so I'm going to have to cut another green pumpkin really quick, unless I dropped it on the floor, which is entirely possible. I tend to do that. I thought I picked a table that was large enough, and it's, you know, honestly, I could be working at like a 20-foot by 20-foot wide table, and it still will never be big enough. I'll always end up putting crap on it, and stuff falls off, and it's never enough. Sorry. It's like the Greatest Showman song, never enough. I need more space. Okay. Now, just have one more. Let me cut this at 14. Doop. Dovetail this really fast. All right. And then I'll show you what I do with the sign. I do something a little special with the sign to get it to stay on there. All right, get this last one on. Oh, flip it around. There we go. So when we first started this, you could see that the mesh, you know, you could kind of see through the mesh, and, you know, there was a little transparent. Oh, is this going to fill it out enough? But once you get the ribbons and everything else on there, it really does fill it out quite nicely. So I don't think you got to worry about it. I think it all works. I am going to have a bow and some signs on here, and it's probably going to cover some of this tubing, but because I don't know which side I'm going to use to put my bow in, I just put tubing in all of it, and then I figure it out later, because who knows, sometimes I might I've decided before not to make a bow. It all depends what it looks like the wreath wants to handle. You know, is it too busy with the patterns? I don't think this one is too busy. I think I'll definitely make a bow. So this is the finished wreath, okay? You can see how it's thin. Oh, there it is. You know, where were you a minute ago, Ribbon Tail? Oh, that's funny. Okay, so this is the sign. And I think what I'm going to do is put the sign at the top, and I'm going to put the bow at the bottom. This sign comes with, it's got some twine on here. And I used to kind of just hang it like that and go flapping around. I don't do that anymore. You can, But I cut this off and I use pipe cleaners and I staple them onto the back with the caveat. Let me get my stapler and I will tell you. Here it is. So the staples that I have would go right through here. They would come out the side, the ends, because I don't know, I can't get any smaller staplers. I don't know. So I take the cardboard tube that has the mesh on it. So this is a piece of the cardboard tube that I have cut. And I will actually cut a piece of there. And then I put it down. And then I will put the pipe cleaner on and staple it. But for a second, I want to see where I want this for right now. I'm going to use that as my top. Okay. So I'm going to put it kind of close to the edges there and there. Okay. And then I'm going to staple it. So I'm going to push that down, hold it down. I'm going to get my finger out of the way. Yeah, don't be dumb, Linda. Don't be stupid like you usually are. Cut yourself. Okay. There we go. Another one. It won't hurt. All right. You see, it did not come out the front, and it is on there. Then I like to twist this just to make sure it stays on there. I'm going to do the same now on the other side. The same height. Okay. Push it up so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Make sure it's centered. All right. Twist it, put it on there. Okay. So now I want to cover that little white. So I want this to be up high enough where it's going to cover just that little bit, which means I'm putting it pretty much right in here and right in here. So wherever this pipe cleaner goes, I'm going to feed it through the space that's already there and pull it through. I'll do that on the other side. Sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle. You gotta really look for where you put that in there. And you can always still push that pipe cleaner through the mesh. I mean, no harm, no foul on that. Okay, so I'm holding my ends. That's where it is. I do want my little tubes to pop out if I can get the other one. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over. I'm just going to twist it. All right. I don't want to twist it. I mean, I want to twist it enough where it's going to stay on there, but I don't want to twist it so hard that it's going to squish everything and look weird. And I still, you know, trim off some of the ends. Just kind of put that in there and, you know, bend it around so nothing snags, nothing hurts. But there shouldn't be anything sharp on the back of this that's going to damage the door in any way. Okay, so there's our welcome sign at the top. Now down here, we're going to make a nice beautiful bow that I believe will cover that, and that. It's going to sit here. It's going to be flat. So I'm going to move that off to the side. Okay, this is this is a mess that Linda's making. Linda's making a mess. All right, I'm going to move this up. I want to make sure you can see everything. Come in a little bit. Okay, so as I explained before, this is the Easy Bow Design Pro. There is also a link for this, an affiliate link in my link tree. Look for Easy Bows. That'll take you right to that site. It is definitely worth it. I love this expanded one. It has an extra 2 inches on either side. It has taller spindle over here. And this is a plastic piece that pops up from behind. So these are not dowels that are going to fall out. It's very well constructed. All right, so I'm going to start by using this. This is 4-inch mesh. You don't have to use 4-inch mesh. I like to. I used to be scared of it. Who would be scared of an inanimate object? Me, that's who. Because it's, you know, like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. You don't use that much of it. You really don't. Okay, so I'm going to dovetail the end because I like to. All right. I'm going to take it over here to my wreath. So let's talk about how far out these tails should go. So this is the center where the bow will go. And I think taking the bow out to roughly here is good. So I'm going to put that in here, and I'm going to tell you that that shows that that comes out. That is literally just touching the 10-inch mark. So probably cut it at like 10.5, and then you have an extra room for your dovetail. So I've put it through here, right? My pretty side is up, but this other pretty side is up. Well, if I just go over like this, I'm going to see the back of the bow. We don't want that. No, no, no. Pretty side up only. So I'm going to put my finger down here. We're going to pinch and twist, or you can take it out. Pinch and twist. So it's like this, right? Pretty side up, back side up over here. All right? This is what it looks like. Now I'm going to bring the loop kind of over. I think I want this loop to be at 8 inches wide. So when I push it down, I want that loop to hit at 8 inches. All right? So then this is where I crinkle it up. Okay. It's 8 inches. I'm going to pinch and twist again, right? So that I see the back side again. I kind of just pull it over, push it in there, hold it over. So I can push this down and make sure, yep, that's 8 inches. Okay, so then I'm going to push this. This is going to be the end of the tail. I'm going to cut at 10.5, like I said before. I'm going to bring my 2 wired edges together. See, wired edges. And I'm going to cut from the folded inside edge to the outside edge. Okay? Then I have my loops up top. Everything looks cute. Okay. I'm going to be done with this roll, so I'm going to take this off the spool. Next, I am going to use, this is the burlap. I like to dovetail my ends when I start. I know most people don't. I'm just really anal about it, so don't judge. Everyone's got their own method. So I'm going to put that down here. I want this tail to be a little bit shorter than that one. Okay, so this one comes out to roughly, the edges are just kind of touching 8. Okay. And then I pinch and twist. Bring it over. And then this loop, I don't want it to come out at 8 inches. I want it to come out probably, I would say this would be more like 6 inches at that point. So I'm going to pinch and twist because I'm going to do 4 loops on this one. Take that out to 7. Okay. Pinch and twist. Make sure that's 7. Pinch and twist at 7. In there. All right. And then, oh boy. Ladies and gents, I need to start that over. Oh wait, no. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. The wire, it looks like they kind of spliced one spot of it together. Okay. All right, and that comes out to 7. There we go. Okay, it looks all right. A little bit funky. I'll have to trim a little bit of that, but it should be fine. All right. And then this comes down to here. Sometimes I'll honestly just measure. I'll bring them together, measure, and then cut a little bit longer. Here we go. All right, that's cut. So I'm going to take one loop, put it up, one loop, put it down, and then this bow. All right. You know what? I'm not really liking that loop, so I'm gonna twist it so that the ugly side is kind of moved to the back. There. Now it's not a problem. All right. Then, oh, the light at the end of the tunnel, ladies and gentlemen. I see it. I see it. Ugh. All right. All right. Now this is a directional ribbon, so I'm gonna have to do some twisting. So you see the pumpkins all face up. So that ends up looking a little weird. So I'm going to start over here. I don't want the pumpkins to be upside down, so that's going to go over there. I'm going to pinch and twist, which is a little bit harder when there's a design that's like kind of like printed on. It makes it a little stiffer, so it's a little harder to pinch and twist. So you just got to work just a little harder to get it narrower and pinched and twisted. Okay. I put this in here, and I'm going to come at 6 inches with that. Pinch and twist. Some people can make hand bows, and I think they're wonderful and genius if they can. I cannot, because of some arthritis issues in my hands, and plus I'm just really freaking uncoordinated. so it didn't work for me. Okay. All right. And then that would come down. Because I'm going to go like this, where I'm going to have this bow kind of like in the middle. So this will come in the middle, and this hits roughly at 7, so I'm going to cut it here. Pinch and twist. Okay, so now it looks like this. You know, which is great, right? But the problem then becomes, you'll be able to see, if I don't put something here on this flat bow, you'll be able to see what it is. So I want to go get, hold tight. I have one of my ribbons. I want to make just a teeny tiny sweet little loop in the center. This is actually a cream, but I think it works. So I've got a cream, and I'm just going to use this to make a sweet tiny little white center, like a little tiny little loop, but enough that I'm going to flatten it out a little bit. So I'm going to make it slightly bigger. Okay, and then come out, because I'm not going to leave it like a bubbly loop. I'm actually going to kind of flatten out so it's flat but wide. Because again, remember, we have to close the door on this. So, all right. Moment of truth. So it's on here, right? You're like, what do I do with this? So I like to use a zip tie. And I like to use a pipe cleaner. So I'm going to grab all of this really tightly. Kind of squish it all down like I'm pushing up a sandwich, right? Because it is essentially. I've got my fingers underneath bracing this so it doesn't pop out. I slip that underneath my back finger so you can see I'm holding it like this. Okay. I'm going to slide this pipe, the zip tie, tuck it under my thumb really quickly. I can go to the back, grab it, push it through the front. Okay, and then pull it just enough where, okay, it's in there, nothing's going to fall out. Make sure everything is adjusted for the placement you want, and then pull tight. Make sure nothing's going to come out. All right. Make sure my pipe cleaner is on the very back of this bow. Then I'm going to snip off the extra bit. Ooh, Slicey dicey. It's gone. All right, I'm going to twist it just to make sure that stays there. All right, so this is my bow. I'm going to start playing with my loops now. All right. All righty. That one. That's going to go there, there. This comes between the two greens. All right, and then now, try to scooch this down a little bit. I can take that one end, move it over there, one end there, and then you see this? Yeah, it could be plopped up by that, but it could flatten. And it looks pretty as the center of this flat bow. And I could shorten this up at the bottom if I wanted to, but I don't think I want to. I think it's nice because I've got these tails ended up coming up top here. So, all right, I'm going to move this out of the way. We'll put this on our wreath, and then I'm going to go drink the largest Diet Coke that I can find. All right, so I just take my pipe cleaners, and I'm going to stick it right through this spot that's already here from the other pipe cleaners. So I'm going to go through there. And I'm going to come down, feed it through. All right. I have both ends. Pulling it together. Okay. I'm going to twist it. I normally don't have to do this. I can do it by hand, but I just want to show you what I'm doing. Twisting it. Snip off just a little at the ends. And then this, I just tuck and wrap around what was already there. Okay. And, yeah. Here we go. Here's our wreath. See, these loops are covering up those on either side, so we don't have to worry about it. I'm going to make sure that my tails come down. This is where I can decide, okay, you know what? There's too much of a size difference. I'm going to take a little bit off of this tail, kind of go around, clean it up a little bit, make sure everything is bent and laying where I want it to. But yeah, I think all in all, this turned out really cute. This sign I got from Craft Outlet. I think that's where I got this green ribbon too, but I think I had got that from last year, so I don't know if they have that in stock. Bowmaker is from Easy Bowmaker. And the frame was from Dollar Tree, and the mesh was from Joanne. So here is the finished wreath. I go back out. It's all nice and finished. You can see that is as thick as it is, you know, and if the door squishes it, this bow is meant to be squished. So squish away, door. Go ahead. You can't hurt me. All right. I am going to probably have this listed on my website. SweetAriaDecor.com should be listed out there shortly. I will also have a replay of this video posted on my YouTube channel for Sweet Aria Decor. And if you want to see me do some really weird, bizarre stuff with crafting supplies and whatnot, I've got a TikTok too. That's I try to keep it tame, but I make no promises. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I truly appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and happy fall.